Hi, and welcome back to the Relatable podcast. I'm your host, Abby.
And I'm Summer.
And today we're going to be talking about friendships in adulthood.
Being that the topic today is about friendship, we thought we would share a little bit about our friendship. My first memories of Abby was the 7th grade when my sister was her camp leader, and I thought she was really pretty, and I told my sister, I really want to be her friend. And then I remember later that year, we weren't in the same class, but we ended up being friends. And she used to do my winged eyeliner every morning before school started. And that just became like a routine. And that was literally the only thing that I wore was winged eyeliner that Abby would do. So, yeah, that's how our friendship started. Yeah.
That's definitely a core memory for me was doing your eyeliner when we were younger. A memory that I remember meeting you is I feel like we were at shops at Sargent and you came up to me and you were just like super bubbly and really nice. And you had said, "Hi, you're like really pretty." And I was like, "Oh, thank you." You've always been super, super nice and approachable. I wasn't afraid to say hi or, to do your eyeliner.
One thing I really love about me and Abby's relationship is, at least from my knowledge, is we've kept no resentment over the years of the times that we've not been in touch. We haven't been the type of friends to call each other every day or text all the time, but we have tried to be there for the important moments. But I just love the fact that we haven't had that kind of friendship where it's controlling or I'm mad at you because you're busy with your life and I haven't seen you in a while, every time that I see you, I'm just happy to see you. I just don't think anything negative, and I am really grateful for that. And I say that because I have had friends that have given me negative energy, or I have felt like they have resented me for me not being as available for them as I was years ago. As life changes, it just gets harder to prioritize friendships, at least in my personal life.
Mm-hmm. We both have our own careers, and it's hard to try and balance everything on top of that and make time for your friends.
Yeah, especially when I get into a relationship, a romantic relationship, because like you said, I have a big family. I also kind of honor my partner's family as if they're my family too. Mm-hmm. So when you're working full time and you're just exhausted through the week, Monday to Friday, and you only have Saturday and Sundays, you're usually going to spend it with your partner, you're going to spend it with your family, you're going to spend it with your partner's family, and that leaves such little room to have time for lots of friends. So I have a very, very small circle, and I really try to make an effort to the people who make an effort in my life. But if I were to literally see everyone every week, and it's not saying that it's impossible, but it just gets harder to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the moments that you do get together with your friends, it's nice because you have so much to catch up on.
Yes.
Nothing but good vibes, good feelings.
Yes. I'm gonna be honest, I don't think I'm the bestest friend when it comes to checking in on my friends, because I get so carried away and wrapped up in my own bubble and my own life. And so sometimes it gets really hard to go outside of that, and I just kind of assume that all my friends are doing fine, and if they weren't, they would come to me. And maybe that's unfair, but yeah, sometimes it's hard to get out of my bubble, because the way I prioritize things in my life is, first there's me, and I have to make sure that I am eating right, that I'm going to work, that I'm doing my workouts, that I'm nurturing myself and making sure that I'm happy. And once I've done that, then it goes to my family. If I had a partner, it would probably be my partner, but I don't have that right now. So it goes to my family. And then I am trying to help meet their needs. And then after that, it goes to my friends. So with that kind of scale, it kind of makes it difficult, because I know that some friends that I have don't prioritize their own needs the way I do, nor do they prioritize their family or their partner's needs the way I do, or if they don't have a partner. And so they kind of prioritize friendship as a number one.
I would say, yeah, my scale is different from yours. It would be me, and then it would probably be my friends, and then my family. Throughout the years, I haven't been super close with my family, and my friends who are in my life, I pretty much consider them like
To
my
be family?
family. Yeah.
Also, just because I try to be such a good partner and family member, I try to be there for a lot of people's needs. And so sometimes I find myself exhausted when I get to that third tier of starting to have to be there for my friends as well.
I feel like I kind of put pressure on myself that if I'm not there, that they are going to be angry with me. And like after having communication and saying, hey, like sometimes there are going to be days where I don't like feel well. I can make plans with friends a week in advance and be super excited, and then the day of I'm like not feeling all right. And before I used to just not say anything, that I've committed to these plans, I need to go. And when I do go, in the back of my head, I'm like, oh my gosh, I wish I was home, I wish I was asleep, I wish I was just chilling in my own space. And then after hanging out, I'm just like so exhausted for like the next 2-3 days.
How I know when it's time for me to have solitude and to be by myself and I need to recharge is when doing things with the people I love starts to feel like it's tiresome, obligatory, or like a chore. Yeah, so sometimes my friends will invite me to something like a dinner or something like that, and I'll want to show up for them, but I will be so exhausted from everything else going in my life. Sometimes, honestly, it's trying to discern which is social anxiety and like fear and other things, and what is just like I'm actually just tired and I don't want to go, and it's really not going to benefit me to go there right now, you know? Because sometimes we're just like anxious and like we haven't been out in a really long time, and like there's a lot of people, and you know what I mean? Maybe it would actually be nice to have that open communication, like, hey, actually, I just don't feel good mentally, and I'm not coming out today, and I hope you can understand that. You know? Yeah.
No. And as long as it's not something that happens like every
single time.
Yeah.
That you're just an unreliable friend.
Yeah.
The reason why I have taken a liking to more low and maintenance friendships is because I don't like a lot of pressure in any relationships. I don't like a lot of expectations unless it's just what I would call common sense expectations, like being honest, being real, being vulnerable, showing up when you can, being as reliable as you can. But I've never expected my friends to be there for me at all times. And to be honest, I don't confide in many people when I am going through something. I often will deal with it internally, and then I'll just kind of tell my friends the story afterwards about like what I went through and how I came out of it. I don't think I've called any of my friends like just crying and, you know, like, you know, just needing an ear or something like that. I've never done that before. And if I do call somebody, I'll usually call my grandma or maybe my sister. And so I just have been kind of a more emotionally independent person, and I like to just kind of catch up with my friends when I have time to just be free and, like you said, not have any stress on my mind and just have fun and be in the present moment with them. But I don't like there to be any like pressure or expectation. I don't know if that's fair. I've had friends in the past that wanting me to show up for them in ways that I just didn't think were healthy. They were going through something and they were relying on me emotionally very heavy, like where almost I felt like I was having to make decisions for them in their life and calling me on a daily basis. And I started to feel like their therapist. I started to feel like I was going through the same thing that they were going through, and it was exhausting me. And so I had to literally say to my friend, I love you. I'm here for you and I care about you, but I genuinely think that you should see a therapist. And that's not like, oh, like, I don't want to talk to you or there's something wrong with you. I think everyone should see a therapist. But it was just like, this is starting to get heavy for me. It's been months now and you're still calling me every day. And I can't be your healer. I can't. I can give you all the advice in the world, but if you don't follow it, and then that's what would bother me too, is like, I would talk to this person for hours on hours, and then they'd go, right after we get off the phone, to go do the opposite of what I just said. And then it's like, what am I even here for? You know? Most people should try to deal with things internally, go for avenues of support, and if they can't find that support within themselves and with the friends and family around them, then to go get professional help. That's what I would always advise. If you have any lingering issue that you just can't get through and you're constantly talking about it to your family and your friends, and it's going on months and months, maybe even a year, it's time to get help for it. How do you find making new friendships?
Making new friendships in adulthood, a lot more harder than it was when you were kids. You're a little bit, at least for me, I'm a little bit more closed off. I'm a little bit more reserved. The most recent friend that I've made was actually through lashing, and we just kind of connected in that way. But other than that, a lot of my friends are just friends from junior high, high school.
When you're in high school or even at work and you're in a structure like that where you're seeing people every single day, it gets really easy to build bonds and make friendships to where you can trust people. But when you have your own personal life, and it's harder to make new friends, because how do you spend enough time with people to build enough comfort and trust to maintain that relationship, new relationships?
Yeah, it takes a lifetime to get to know someone.
Exactly.
And to like let someone in fully.
I found difficulty making friends over the years because I've often questioned people's intentions. I'm not the most trusting individual. Like, I'm open. I'm very open, an open book, and I'll talk to you. And if we have a chemistry, you know, cool. But me actually letting my true guard down and trusting strangers is just like, it doesn't really happen. So making new friends is very hard for me to kind of let down my guard. And I think I have managed to maintain friendships with people from my past for so long because I can let down that guard. I've already grown up with them. They're used to me. I'm used to them. Like, there's nothing new there, you know? It's not scary. It's not intimidating. And we can all just be ourselves with each other.
I want to say I'm open to making new friends. And let's say I do meet someone that I'm like, oh, wow, like this person's really cool and I can see myself becoming friends with them. It is going to take a very long time until we get to that stage in our friendship where I can come to you and vent or share some personal experiences that I've gone through.
And with new friendships, I just find it hard to try and gain that comfortability, that trust, that openness. What do you think is your best trait in your friendships? Like, what do you think your friends would say about you?
I think one of my best traits would be that I am a pretty patient person. It'll take a while for me to lose that patience when it comes, like, if something was bothering me.
I would say I think I'm very open. I think a lot of my friends feel comfortable to tell me anything and that I won't judge them. And then also that I'm very forgiving. I don't think there's anybody that I haven't forgiven or that I have any grudge towards. So I have always been able to, if something goes wrong in my friendships, to be accountable and to make up and to keep going. So,
do you get inspired to be that way? Like, do you have people around you who are like that and that's why you are the way that you are?
I think because I have such a big family, and my family, growing up in my family home, everyone was so expressive. Even with their arguing, it was just expressive. And it's hard to really explain, but basically you learn to love unconditionally. So you don't take a lot of things personally, and you're able to just love people as they are and who they are. And so a lot of my friendships I've been able to forgive and to maintain those friendships because at the end of the day, I love them for who they are. So just because you do something wrong one time or a few times over a lifetime, that doesn't cancel you out of my life. People make mistakes. People are human. How do you think you know when it's time to cut out a friendship?
When you feel that that person is no longer adding value into your life.
I completely agree with you. I think it's not just adding value, because I think there are relationships where you can add value and that person is not able to reciprocate or to repay you as much as you are giving. But still, if they are not adding value, they shouldn't be taking away. So they're not causing you stress. They're not taking away your peace. They're not making you broke. They're not like broke, and not even just financially, but spirited. Things like that. So I think it's time to cut off a toxic friendship or any relationship when it's no longer beneficial in any way. It's just a burden.
Have you had to cut out friends that felt like a burden, or that just weren't?
I did, actually. There was somebody who was actually one of my most recent friends, and that was still a few years ago, so I don't really make too many new friends, but it was a friend I had made, and I realized our values didn't really align. And I was in a relationship, and I felt that that friend wasn't supportive of it. And I also felt that they kept trying to set me up with other people. They were so discouraging of my relationship. They kept trying to plant seeds, and I almost felt like they were a threat to my relationship. And I don't like friendships like that. I felt like I needed to cut that relationship out of my life. And so I did, and that was very hard. And at first, I did the immature thing, which is ghosting, which is not responding to texts or calls and just kind of disappearing. And then it got to a point where she just kept messaging me, and I had to be very honest and say, you know what? I do like you genuinely as a person, but I don't think our values align. And I don't feel like you were supportive of the things that I want in my life. And I don't think you have good reason. It's not like it's concern, It was just really selfish. So I don't like that kind of energy. So I only it's not like I only want friends that are yes people. I don't want yes men friends. But I don't want people who can't be happy for me. I've actually been through situations like that a few times, where friends weren't supportive of my relationship and had tried to compromise it in some way, whether trying to set me up with other people unbeknownst to me, or putting me in situations that would be uncomfortable for the partner I'm with at the time. And so I've had to put boundaries in those friendships or completely distance myself from them.
What can be challenging with friendships is when you are experiencing life differently. So if one of us has a whole family, like we have kids, you're going to have to learn how to compromise and figure out ways to still be connected with one another.
And relate
and still understand that they're not always going to be available when you're available. We hope you enjoyed today's video and found it real relatable.
We'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Really cute for the camera. Look really cute for the camera. It's temporary. Just be still. Be still, my child.